because rare is the woman that can live off the rack.
Right? No one can live off the rack. I'm sorry, but you have to subject yourself to the burdens of a hair, makeup.
Latest sound bites of her. As you know, very much like Karine Jean-Pierre, she's obsessed with race. This is actually from her podcast, not her book tour. But here's a couple samples of what she's been saying these days about Black women, SOT 17.
And we have to start educating people about all.
What if the story you've been told is only part of the truth? Megyn Kelly and Anna Kasparian step away from predictable talking points to examine how Michelle Obama is presented and why critical voices are so quickly silenced. Their conversation explores media loyalty, cultural symbolism, and the consequences of treating public figures as flawless icons. This isn't driven by outrage. It's about curiosity, honest skepticism, and the willingness to ask the questions most commentators shy away from.
Husband needs that, or the country needs that. So how do I think about this next phase?
Once again, speaking a reference to her time as First Lady negatively, and I'm transitioning. I mean, an interesting choice of words, given how the internet refers to her. It's not 1938. We must accept that there are all kinds of beauty, Maureen, because we racist whiteys don't accept that any Black person could be beautiful.
I know.
She's so bigoted against white people.
If you're enjoying this, please subscribe to the channel. It helps more than you might realize. Now imagine a world where simply saying one name makes entire networks freeze, editors rush around, and social media hold its breath. Michelle has come to represent an untouchable presence, a polished symbol of perfection, who seems able to weather anything and still walk away smiling.
So last week or the week before, I can't remember, Cenk and I covered a story about why Michelle Obama hasn't really been a visible campaigner on behalf of Joe Biden. This was actually prior to the debate. And so it wasn't about like, oh, Biden's not really performing well and that's why Michelle Obama isn't supporting him. No. It had to do with the fact that she felt that the Biden family was not being kind and was really treating Hunter Biden's ex-wife poorly.
Megyn Kelly and Anna Kasparian have no intention of tiptoeing around the topic. With sharp wit, genuine curiosity, and a keen eye for absurdity, they challenge the carefully polished image of Michelle, revealing the ridiculous, the ironic, and even the unintentionally funny sides of cultural perfection.
Obama, who has been everywhere with this tour of her ridiculous book, trying to promote this ridiculous book. And we have a few latest sound bites of her. As you know, very much like Karine Jean-Pierre, she's obsessed with race. This is actually from her podcast, not her book tour. But here's a couple samples of what she's been saying these days about Black women, SOT 17.
And we have to start educating people about all kinds of beauty.
First, there's the optics, the visual show that feels carefully planned down to the smallest detail. Every outfit looks like it came straight from a fashion spread. Every smile feels designed to spark the right emotion. And every gesture hits with the smooth precision of a perfectly choreographed performance.
Obama, who has been everywhere with this tour of her ridiculous book, trying to promote this ridiculous book. And we have a few latest sound bites of her. As you know, very much like Karine Jean-Pierre, she's obsessed with race. This is actually from her podcast, not her book tour. But here's a couple samples of what she's been saying these days about Black women, SOT 17.
And we have to start educating people about all kinds of beauty.
Yes.
Kelly can't help but notice that this level of perfection doesn't happen by accident. It takes a lot of moving pieces, probably a small team working behind the scenes, and maybe even a sign in the closet that says, "No spontaneity allowed." Kasparian watches with a smile, picturing a world where looking effortlessly classy is so tightly managed that even grabbing coffee needs a full production crew. Then the conversation shifts to how Michelle's words, gestures, and causes seem to glide between genuine feeling and polished performance. Every line sounds inspiring, every move feels intentional, yet it all comes across as natural charm. To most people, it looks easy, but when you slow it down, it feels more like a magician's trick. The audience applauds, many quietly nod along, accept the story is told, and sometimes even admit they wish they could be just a little that composed. Kelly jokes about a boardroom somewhere, likely filled with media experts and image planners, asking each day, how do we make her even more inspiring today without making everyone else feel hopelessly ordinary?
Really go there.
And then
Do you really
creating-
say, because how many times somebody asks, what are you thinking about? And you're like, well, let me make up a thing because
Right.
I don't want to
I don't
actually
want to
tell
say
you what I was
really
thinking about.
happened right now.
Which was
Yeah.
like, the way you're chewing makes me want to smack you upside
See,
the head.
that's why guys don't want to have
Would that be an
everything.
edge?
That would
Is
be
that
an
it?
edge. And that would be really interesting. You could like open something
Uh-huh.
up
It's
there
like,
in a
why
big
does
way.
your chewing annoy me so much?
She cannot stand him.
Meanwhile, Kasparian imagines social media users trying and failing to copy that flawless calm, only to realize that even a casual smile takes mirror practice and a cheering squad. The humor comes from perfection being sold as something to admire, while everyone quietly envies it. Then there's the motivational messaging, delivered with the smooth skill of a master illusionist. Simple ideas like healthy eating, exercise, and education are framed as bold, life-changing missions, all while making people feel just a little guilty for choosing popcorn. Kelly points out how clever it is to inspire while also quietly judging. Kasparian laughs at the strange result. People feel encouraged but also slightly anxious that their own choices may never stack up. The comedy lives in that mix of motivation and intimidation, wrapped in a flawless public presentation. Cultural influence adds another layer to the joke. Michelle's impact stretches across politics, pop culture, social media, and even the hypothetical, turning ordinary moments into big events while the public happily plays along.
Who has been everywhere with this tour of her ridiculous book, trying to promote this ridiculous book. And we have a few latest sound bites of her. As you know, very much like Corinne Jean-Pierre, she's obsessed with race. This is actually from her podcast, not her book tour. But here's a couple samples of what she's been saying these days about Black women, SOT 17.
And we have to start educating people about all kinds of beauty.
Yes.
And our beauty is so powerful.
Relatability, or at least the illusion of it, is perfect fuel for satire. Michelle is presented as warm and down-to-earth, yet her polished image creates a strange contradiction. Kelly jokes that there's no such thing as a simple grocery run without photographers, perfect lighting, and maybe even a pre-approved shopping list. Kasparian laughs at how casual elegance is sold as everyday reality. It's a full theatrical performance played out on the biggest stage imaginable, while the rest of the world watches with a ticket and polite applause. Her speeches offer another layer to explore. Every word is carefully shaped to inspire, persuade, or gently correct, all without drawing attention to the push behind it. Each speech feels like a major production. You can almost picture teams rushing to adjust the message mid-speech, strategists updating hashtags on the fly, and interns holding cue cards with perfectly timed emojis. That contrast between serious causes and stage-managed logistics highlights the strange comedy of maintaining a flawless public image.
Dirty place with lots of danger, not just this cherry picker, but also the live rail that he's working on, all the wires, having a great time. And then you look at her and she's still, they have to be billionaires by now.
Sure.
Out on the yachts, the Martha's Vineyard $22 million estate, totally thriving young daughters who went to Harvard and USC. It's never going to be good enough. It's a mind frame, right? It's like your choice of
Symbolism and cultural weight are perfect targets for humor. Michelle stands for elegance, intelligence, and social responsibility, but exaggeration turns her every appearance into something almost mythical. Kasparian pictures entire conversations stopping mid-sentence just because she enters a room. The comedy comes from stretching reality to absurd extremes, showing how celebrity often borders on the ridiculous. Social media cranks it up even further. Every appearance, word, or smile is scrutinized, dissected, and replayed endlessly. Kelly imagines analysts measuring inspiration per post, while Kasparian pictures algorithms running simulations to maximize awe, engagement, and envy all at once, only to realize it's basically impossible. Kelly points out the hilarity of trying to keep up, while Kasparian highlights the quiet panic ordinary people feel when faced with impossible standards of perfection. The satire comes from exaggerating aspiration itself. Public figures turn into cultural icons, giving endless material for playful commentary and ironic reflection.
don't accept that any Black person could be beautiful.
I know.
She's so bigoted against white people.
She's so out of her mind. Like Naomi Campbell. Tyra Banks had like one of the biggest competitive reality shows going based on how to be a top model.
Whitney Houston was one of the biggest stars of all time.
And one of the most beautiful. She started The Bodyguard, remember? With
Yes.
Kevin Costner.
She was
like
stunning.
Stunning. It was like an interracial romance for the ages.
Halle Berry,
Halle
very
Berry.
thirsty for attention now, but very, very beautiful.
Let's go back to Diana Ross. Let's go back to who starred as Foxy Brown.
By now, the paradox of perfection becomes clear. The more carefully a public image is built, the more chances there are for absurdity. Kelly leans into this contradiction, pointing out how meticulous planning, amplified influence, and constant visibility create the perfect setup for humor. The observations are sharp, the exaggerations intentional, and the storytelling smooth, delivering playful commentary that entertains without ever feeling like a personal attack. Through each observation, joke, and witty remark, a pattern starts to emerge. Media perception, public fascination, and cultural admiration can be just as funny as they are impressive. Conversations naturally move from image making to how it's perceived. Humor thrives in that space between admiration and irony, between careful planning and public fascination, crafting a narrative that keeps viewers engaged while inviting them to think critically about the spectacle of perfection. Even small details are turned into comedic insight, showing how media, culture, and public influence can be just as absurd as they are fascinating.
Yes.
And our beauty is so powerful and so unique that it is worthy of the conversation, and it's worthy of demanding the respect that we're owed for who we are and what we offer to the world.
Absolutely.
Oh my God. It's not 1938. Like, we must accept that there are all kinds of beauty, Maureen, because we racist whiteys don't accept that any black person could be beautiful.
In the end, every carefully crafted smile, perfectly timed gesture, and meticulously planned initiative becomes part of a bigger spectacle, perfect for witty observation and ironic commentary. The absurdity goes beyond appearances and speeches. Think of events, galas, and public ceremonies, every handshake analyzed, every nod recorded, every laugh treated like a rare celestial event. Kasparian can't help but picture Michelle at a simple charity brunch, with reporters practically launching satellites just to track an eyebrow movement. Kelly shakes her head at the irony. From casual gestures to offhand remarks, everything seems choreographed, rehearsed, and signed off by a team of style, speech, and social media experts. Meanwhile, Kasparian laughs at the thought of a spontaneity control room, where interns frantically calculate the perfect angle of a smile in real time, making sure nothing breaks the illusion of effortlessness. The comedy comes from the clash between that natural, effortless image and the intense behind-the-scenes work that actually makes it happen.
Fuel on the fire that there's a potential, maybe a divorce or some sort of rockiness going on in the Obamas' relationship. They both posted these mirrored, very choreographed Valentine's Day messages on X, but he was just seen at an LA, the basketball team, the Clippers, thank you, game without her. And then on Tuesday, he was spotted.
Public speaking becomes its own theater of irony. Every word is carefully chosen to inspire, persuade, or gently raise social awareness, without ever feeling heavy-handed. Kelly wonders just how many invisible calculations go into each speech. The rhythm of sentences, the pauses for applause, the perfectly timed hand gestures, all working together to create the sense of effortless inspiration. The audience leaves clapping, reflecting on personal growth, completely unaware they've just watched the performance almost as meticulously planned as a Broadway show, just with fewer jazz hands. Social media turns that spectacle up to 11. Every post, video clip, or shared image gets dissected by analysts and algorithms, making sure the public takes away exactly the impression intended. Kelly pictures imaginary graphs tracking engagement against perceived authenticity, while Kasparian laughs at the idea of software predicting just how many likes, shares, and envy-inducing double taps a single nod will generate. Michelle's campaigns on education, nutrition, and empowerment are undeniably important, but the level of presentation surrounding them sometimes borders on operatic.
There's some sort of rockiness going on in the Obamas' relationship. They both posted these mirrored, very choreographed Valentine's Day messages on X, but he was just seen at an LA, the basketball team, the Clippers, thank you, game without her. And then on Tuesday, he was spotted eating out at a fancy dinner in Sherman Oaks with both daughters, Malia and Sasha, but again, no Michelle, according to...
The dust starts to settle after Kasparian imagines a behind-the-scenes scenario where every donation is celebrated with confetti cannons, drum rolls, and slow-motion camera pans, making sure no good deed goes unnoticed by the media machine. The comedy comes from the exaggeration, important work made almost absurdly dramatic, as if the Oscars had collided with public service. Fashion and appearance continue to provide plenty of material. Kelly points out the irony in how every outfit, accessory, or color choice is read as a deliberate statement about values, intellect, or relatability. Kasparian pictures spreadsheets tracking audience reactions to skirt lengths and sleeve cuts, and the humor naturally follows just by imagining the extremes needed to maintain that aura. Observations, jokes, and playful critiques move smoothly from one point to the next, keeping a rhythm that entertains, engages, and lets the audience laugh while appreciating the absurdity of cultural obsession. By the end of it all, one thing is clear. The fascination isn't about personal attack or criticism, but about enjoying the comedy of perfection turned mythic. Every gesture, campaign, smile, or public appearance becomes a canvas for satire, exaggeration, and ironic commentary. Viewed through a sharp, humorous lens, public personas reveal the absurdity of societal admiration, the over-the-top standards of media representation, and the entertaining tension between awe and irony.